Hey guys, what's up? We got a new bike to assemble today. John, you know what we got in today?
What did we get in?
A Fuji bike.
Wow.
You like the Fuji bikes, right?
I do like Fuji.
You know why John likes the Fuji bikes? Why?
Because John has a Fuji bike.
He has a Fuji bike. What's the Fuji bike you have?
Grand Fondo.
A Grand Fondo. A lot of people know about the Fuji bikes, right? They've been here for a long time, over
125 years.
125 years. So when we talk about Fuji, or we see a lot of Fuji bikes come in the shop, and we're super excited that we're gonna have new Fujis in the shop, and this one, they just launched it this year, the Kasani. It's an endurance road bike, and we're gonna be able to build it today, assemble it, because it comes pretty well, pretty built, so it doesn't require much building. It's just assembling and making it a tune-up, and I'll be able to share with you guys a review of the Kasani. Great bike. Got this one, it's a size 54, so I'll be able to ride it and test ride it and share my review on this bike. We have a couple of things going on in the shop. John is here washing a tri-bike, a Kenyan, making as new, right? It was pretty dirty.
Yeah, it was real dirty.
All right.
We scrubbed it.
We scrubbed it.
Gave it a bath.
Gave it a bath. Yeah, on our tub. I don't know if you realize, guys, it's a tub. So that's the way we wash the bike. We actually, when we wash it, we put it on the ultrasonic, and then to make the chain new.
This is the existing chain, Alex. And I think it's as clean as a new one if I took it out of the box.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah, absolutely. It's shiny. Then we lube it and have it ready, tune it up. And just before we start assembling this bike, I just wanted to show this one. I didn't have time. I was so busy these weeks that I wanted to do a bike build of the Factor Ostro gravel. But I had so much going on and I didn't have time, so I had to finish this bike for a customer that he's picking up. I think he's coming all the way from Tampa. And look at this bike over here. This is a Factor Ostro gravel, custom paint with the Prisma color. So he did this like matte gray with this old orange thing. I don't know if you can notice on the camera, but it's beautiful. So this bike has the Pirelli Cinturato 40C, 40 millimeter wide, with this new ceramic red, derailleur, cassette, the new 12 or 13 speed chains, and integrated bar with their black ink bar. Look at this saddle, Salitalia. Nice little touch with the brown saddle. Let's go assemble this Fuji.
Nobody knows me like you do. You just read my mind. Nobody gets me except for you. Like we're intertwined. Seasons come and go. Universe will change, but I'll feel the same.
All right, the Fuji Kasani, beautiful bike. Like this paint job. Top of the bike a little darker, a little lighter on the bottom with the Fuji logo. Not a super flashy bike, but a very nice, well-designed bike. And as you can see, an endurance bike, everything a geometry of an endurance bike should be, right? Lower seat stay, pretty wide wheelbase. You have this curve right here on the bottom, theoretically supposed to make the ride more comfortable. Also very aero bike. You see on the front, very bulky here on the front, and all the design here making it a very aero bike. Seat tube, D shape on the front, rounded on the front and on the back. Pretty bulky seat clamp here, so you won't have problems with that. Another thing that a lot of bike manufacturers have been doing is pretty bulky on the frame here on the bottom, close to the bottom bracket, where it's very stiff. So all the power you're putting on the pedals is being transferred to the bike, pushing you forward. So I like that. I think that's a great thing to see on bikes. And the bottom bracket standard here is a T47 threaded. And I like that. It's the same bottom bracket that I have on my Colnago C68. So it's a very good bottom bracket standard that will not give you creaking problems. And of course with the dub for SRAM, and this is a SRAM Rival group set. Just love these group sets, although compared with the Force and the Red, it's a little bit on the heavier side. And speaking about weight, everybody always asks me, what's the weight of this bike? So with this bike is around 9 kilos or 20 pounds. Not the lightest bike, but with this group set, with these wheels for an endurance bike, it's for me not bad at all. Of course, you can make this bike much lighter if you put maybe a SRAM Force or a Shimano Tegra Durace will make a big difference. And also the wheel set, this is the Vision Trimax 35 millimeter, pretty deep, and it is actually aluminum rims. Looks like a carbon, but it's actually aluminum, and they're very sturdy. We use these wheel sets on some of our rentals here, and they're very good. So they are very sturdy, so great training wheels. One thing I would do for sure if you want to take this bike to the next level is to add some carbon wheels. So the group set is the SRAM Rival, as I mentioned, with a 4633 chainring and a 1011 cassette. So in theory, looks like a really nice bike, beautiful design, seems to be very comfortable, very aero. Now, one thing is theory, the other thing is riding it, right? So that's my favorite part, is putting this bike on the road. So let's take it for a spin.
Nah, mate. Knock, knock. Something real, something raw, not accidental, no, I'm sure. You're not needed, show you the door, but what's that, yeah, are you sure? Yeah, that's a rental, yeah, what a bore. Lying, nothing in your core. Buying, yeah, what for? But do what I need to, always sure. Something real, something raw, not accidental, no, I'm sure. You're not needed, show you the door. What's that, yeah, are you sure? Yeah, that's a rental, yeah, what a bore. Lying, nothing in your core. Buying, yeah, what for? But do what I need to, always sure. Boring, never been that. I get paid, bro, just to relax. Yeah, more money now, yeah, more tax. Suited it now, don't worry about that. Boring, yeah, I've never been that. I get paid, bro, just to relax. Yeah, more money, but yeah, more tax.
You can start to feel that we're entering the best season of the year to ride here in Central Florida. It's fall. Don't get me wrong, it's still hot, but you can feel that breeze starting to get a little crispier, and you don't feel you're in a sauna anymore. So I'm excited for that, and I'm also excited to ride this bike. First impression, right out the door, it is an endurance bike. Very comfortable bike. I could ride the whole day and my lower back will be in heaven. Very smooth, very predictable bike, but it's pretty astonishing how responsive it is. It's very responsive, of course not as a super racy bike. Now, to keep in mind, this bike comes configured for full comfort because the tires are 30 millimeter wide. That makes the bike even more comfortable, and you can go wider if you want. Actually, you can make this bike even for light gravel. Well, I think it would work great if you put even wider tires, and that's when you do the tweaks, right, that you want to do for the purpose of the bike. You want it to be a little lighter, so let's shave some weight, let's change the wheel, let's put maybe a 28, maybe go tubeless. Or you can go comfort all the way. Let's put wider tires. Let's go tubeless. Put some lower pressures on those tires and just enjoy the ride without compromising comfort. So an endurance bike, to make it really comfortable, smooth ride, there's two ways you can go. One, you can add some sort of like suspension or shock absorbing system like a few manufacturers do. They add it to the stem or the seat post or even to the seat stay, some sort of shock absorbing system
And that's good, makes it very, very smooth. But the only downside of that is you waste a lot of power. The power you're putting onto the bike, some of it is wasted on these shocks. And the second way is through doing a good design on the geometry of the bike. Of course, the carbon layup that will absorb all the imperfections of the road, making the ride smoother. It's not maybe as smooth as the shock, but there is a positive side of that you're still riding smooth, but without losing too much efficiency on the bike. So when you're pedaling, you really feel that you're moving forward, no energy is being wasted. And that is the case, I think, with the Kasani. It has no shock absorbent or any type of system like that, but the geometry is really nice. Here on the trail, there are a couple bumps and a couple of imperfection on the road, and it's just smooth. Of course you feel it, but it's not as bad compared to race bikes where it's really stiff. Or if you ride, for example, an aluminum bike, or if you used to ride one, after you know what I'm talking about, after 2 hours you're riding, and every little bump, when you are in a really stiff bike that is not as comfortable, it becomes painful. So this is the purpose of the Kasani, is to have a smooth ride without compromising performance. I'm not saying this will replace a race bike, for sure not. It's a different purpose. So if you enjoy cycling, you want to go for fondos, do some nice rides, and you want to end up fresh the best way you can, is an endurance bike is a great way to go. And I have a video where I share that, comparing a endurance bike with a more race bike, a climbing bike. And this is a great example of a good endurance bike. So talking about the group set of this bike, the SRAM Rival, that's their third tier group set. And I can say with confidence that it's a very reliable group set, because we have this group set in about 60% of our rental fleets run on the Rival E-Tap, and we have no issues at all. It's super reliable, works great. It's incredible how the chain lasts for a long time. All the feedback from the customers are super positive, and it works just like the Force or the SRAM Red, but it's a little heavier, and it doesn't look as cool as the SRAM Red, sure, but you're gonna save a lot of money. And I think it's a great way to start with the Kasani, with a group set that is great, electronic shifting, E-Tap, wireless, comfortable bike, but a more budget-friendly bike where it's more accessible. So yeah, it was fun to share this bike with you guys. If you had a Fuji, or if you have one, let me know which are the Fujis, like John, you have, and do you enjoy it. John really loves his bike. It's a pretty old one. We're thinking of doing an overhaul. We might do a video on that. So yeah, that's my review of the Fuji Kasani. Let me know what you guys think. And as always, I'll see you on the next ride experience. Ciao.
That's what you gotta tell them sometime, you know. Oh. See you later, mate. All the best, all the best. Something real, something raw, not accidental, no, I'm sure. Something real, something raw, not accidental, no, I'm sure. Nah, never been sorry.